Hi there! In this lesson, we will be looking at how you can customize the learner registration experience. ThinkingCap provides functionality to allow learners to register for an account on the system. This registration experience is customizable from both an aesthetics and mechanics viewpoint. After watching this video, you will understand the registration settings and be able to customize the registration process. Let's get going. Log into ThinkingCap with full admin privileges. From the hamburger menu in the top left, expand experience. Click on Registration. You are taken to the Summary tab. This tab is an overview of the registration settings. On the top right of the modal, there are toggles for Active, Multilingual, and Advanced. If Active is off, then self-registration is not available. When the Multilingual toggle is enabled, it means administrators can set up the registration process on the learner view in other languages. Note that to do this, the languages must be supported on the branch. When the Advanced toggle is enabled, the Branches and CAPTCHA tabs appear. Let's go over to the Basic Settings tab. The Basic Settings shows conditions under which registration can be done. Enable the first setting if you'd like accounts to be approved before registered learners can access your branch. This option contains 4 sub-options. Learners can log in as soon as they have registered if you choose to have registration automatically approved. Learners registering can be required to enter an access code. If this option is enabled, administrators will see current access codes and be able to generate new ones here. Registration approval requests are sent to administrators with the appropriate permissions if the third option is enabled. This is a manual approval. Enabling the option to automatically approve anyone who registers with a certain email address domain allows administrators to enter which email address domain is approved. For example, if thinkingcap.com is added to this box, then anyone using a thinkingcap.com email address is automatically approved. Other options on this tab include allowing learners to register only when they are purchasing a learning activity, enforcing email address verification, requiring learners to agree to a disclaimer, denying registration to public email addresses, for example, gmail.com, and autofilling default fields. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. At the top, click the Form Fields tab. This tab lists user metadata for this branch and its parent branches. The required fields by default are first name, last name, email address, and password. Checking the checkbox in the first column displays the corresponding field on the registration form in the learner view. The display name is the field's label on the registration form. Type is what kind of metadata this field is. The Provided By column is where you choose if the field displays on the registration form, following first-time user login, or if it is provided by the administrator approving registration. Checking the Require box makes this field required. Learners cannot register or take training unless this field is filled in. The last column is where you determine the order in which these fields appear. At the bottom of the Form Fields page, you will see Only Request Non-Required metadata fields that are part of this registration and set to be collected at login once. When this option is enabled, learners logging in for the first time are asked for non-required fields one time only. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. Click the Form Instructions tab. Here, administrators enter registration form instructions, which appear at the top of the registration form. Registration form extend membership instructions, which are instructions provided to learners who have existing accounts on another branch and are now registering for this branch. Registration form submission confirmation is text that appears once learners have submitted their registration. Registration request confirmation only appears if registration requires approval and appears to learners once they've submitted their registration. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. Click the Notifications tab. This tab covers notifications that are sent regarding registration. These can be activated or deactivated, and the text can be changed if the branch level allows override. There is also an option at the bottom for how long the password is valid. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. Only registration notifications enabled at the branch level will appear on this tab. Click on the Branches tab. The first option on this tab allows administrators to choose which sub-branches learners are automatically placed in upon registration. The second option allows learners to choose which branches they would like to be members of from a list you provide on the page. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. The second option allows learners to choose which branches they would like to be members of from a list you provide on the page. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. Go to the CAPTCHA tab. This tab has a single option, choosing between a standard reCAPTCHA or a numeric one. Click the Apply button at the bottom of the page to save your changes. This concludes the introduction to the registration settings. Thanks for watching.